Oh, you can see the prompter. Yeah.
Watch,
so he
look
is
at
that.
his
Yeah.
prompter.
You can see
Look
the
at
past few days on the internet
Right there.
complaining about quote unquote trad cons like myself, who she says promote the nuclear family despite not understanding what it's really like.
Okay.
Yes, we men who actually.
Right there. All right. So this is the buildup. Pearl is an employee. He only ever quotes Pearl. Who else does this guy quote? Is there anyone in the manosphere? Is there anyone in the red pill community that he quotes? And if there is there anyone he quotes as often as he does Pearl? Pearl is a reliable source of outrage bait. She is an outrage broker who is contracted by the Daily Wire. That's how, and by the way, you don't believe me? There's video. We're going to dig that video up as well. The video of her admitting to the fact that she works with or either former or current employees, or her handlers are former or current Daily Wire people. Continue.
This is extremely unstable and fallacious reasoning. The idea that if you can find any common thing between two things means those two things have a relationship with each other is fallacious. This is conspiratorial reasoning to the letter. For example, person X is in the same hotel as person Y. Person Y is a pedophile, therefore person X is also a pedophile because they both stay in the same hotel. This is a fallacy. According to Rollo's thinking, it will stand to reason that every ex-employee of the Daily Wire who are hired in any other industry or company would be sufficient proof that that company is a Daily Wire offshoot. Or maybe, more interestingly, those supposed ex-employees are spies for the Daily Wire. If you disagree, or if he disagrees with this point, the question will be, by what justifiable reason is the claim true that Paul Davis is an employee of the Daily Wire and not true for other companies that every other ex-employee of the Daily Wire works for? Whether he knows those companies or not is not a factor, because the common denominator is the ex-employee. In his reasoning, the ex-employee working with or for someone else is justifiable reason enough to conclude that the Daily Wire and that company or person are essentially the same organization. Hopefully, the more I've explained the reasoning process behind Rollo's thinking, the more you will find it unjustifiable and silly. Rollo Tomassi's rhetoric paints the image that the Daily Wire hosts talk about the red pill often as he talks about the Daily Wire, and that's simply not the case. As I have mentioned in my other videos, that the Daily Wire hosts talk about the red pill once in every several months. It's something you can verify for yourself by going to their channels and looking at their content. And it's patently false that the Daily Wire only reacts to Paul Davis's content. They react to red pill content that's trending at the time, and it's usually never about him. Apart from his vasectomy tweet, from which they gave him his 15 minutes of attention and reacted to it. But the context behind Matt Walsh's mentioning of the red pill and marriage is because Pearl called out the Daily Wire hosts on Twitter and posed arguments against them. That's why they're reacting to her. Which is something different from what he does, which is spew diatribes and conspiracies towards the Daily Wire. Why would you engage or react to someone's content who does that and not expect to receive more conspiracies and diatribes as argumentation in return?